So guys, we've heard certain incidents of black women, especially those from the African American community, going overseas and experiencing racism. And sometimes you might think about what's happening and believe like, well, maybe she might have caused this a little bit. That was the case with Mary Jane Byarm, who was the alleged scammer stealing black women's money that happened with her in Italy. But in this case, we have a very talented sister who is a Fulbright scholar teaching over in Bulgaria. Now, I want to let you guys know this. I lived in Poland, received my medical school degree in Poland in the English program. So a lot of the things that she's going to talk about, either I experienced firsthand living in Poland, or I know somebody who experienced it firsthand living in Poland. Okay? And this is not to say that everybody in Poland or Bulgaria is this way, but I do not believe that she started any of this. So I will say, I believe that what we're going to hear right now, she is telling 1,000% the truth, because things like that have happened to me or somebody else that I know. This story is quite sad. Let's get into the video.
My name is Ariel. I'm a Fulbright scholar teaching in Bulgaria. This is what it's like to be a black woman living in Bulgaria. I was just almost murdered in front of 300 people running for my life on a train, and nobody helped me out because I was black. My voice is gone right now because I've been screaming at the top of my lungs for somebody to do something and help me while I was being chased with tasers and sticks. This is what happened. So try to stay and watch for as long as you can so you can hear the truth of things that they're not going to tell you.
Now, let me just say this. When you're overseas, even if you're in Europe, being a black person, folks will go head on and change things up to fit their narrative. By the way, stop the show. Check out Co-Parenting with the Sperlings at the first comment pinned to the top. Shout out to Dennis Sperling's TV show. So guys, make sure you go and subscribe and hit the bell and check out the show. Let's get back into it.
When I got on the train, the conductor told me that I couldn't sit in my assigned seat and that I had to stand in the back of the train for 6 hours with my dog, although I purchased tickets for both of us. After that, a gay guy invited me into his cabin with him and his friends. We go in to sit down, and immediately a Bulgarian man starts screaming at me, "Why the are you in here? Take the up to the back. Are you mad? Are you dumb?" So after a few minutes of ignoring him, I turn to him and I say, "Look, I get it. You're frustrated. You can't sit in the seats that you bought, and I can't sit in my assigned seats either. I get it. We're frustrated, but I don't communicate like that. So if you're going to talk to me, all of that getting aggressive and cursing and screaming, it goes out of the window. I disregard what you're trying to say." He tells me, "I'm a real fucking Bulgarian man. Do you know who the fuck I am? Fucking?" And I say, "Yeah."
Let me just say this. I've had this experience, not this bad, of course. But one day I was walking down the street, going home. Some guy got off the bus and tells me, "Go back to your country." I'm like, "To America?" He's like, "You guys are here to take our jobs." I'm like, "Bro, I make more money in 1 month than you will see in 3 years, man. Just get on the bus." So these things can happen. People are entitled in these European countries. Some of them can be, and they can be complete. Some of them are complete losers, and they just want to take out their anger and frustration on while they're not doing very well. And it's always easy to try to pick on somebody black as to why they're not doing well.
And I say, "Yeah, well, just teaching your Bulgarian students." He says, "I don't like I'm a real Bulgarian man. Something's happened to you. You're gonna fucking die one of these days." And the people who were in the cabin with me, they get up and leave, except for the gay guy. They look to the gay guy and they say, "Good luck with that." So I tell him, "Look, I'm not going to keep arguing with you. As long as you don't touch me or mine, we won't have a problem." He stands up and he goes into his book bag and he grabs his taser and he starts to zap it. So I get up because at this point I'm getting scared. I get up, I leave out of the cabin, and I grab my dog. And I'm doing this to create some distance and de-escalate, but at the same time, I'm thinking something is about to happen. Pay attention and don't freeze. So he follows me out of the cabin and he tells me, he keeps continuing, and somebody's gonna handle you one day. He then chucks spit at me, spitting on my forehead, my eyelids, and my cheek.
He would have not done that if a man was there. Trust me.
So I grab my mace and I pepper spray him. I grab my dog and I turn around and I start running, and I'm screaming, running through the aisles of the train saying, help. This man is trying to tase me, he's trying to kill me. The gay guy catches up to me and he says, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. Like, do I grab your bags? Do I follow you? What do I do? And I say, I know standing up to racism is hard. Thank you for saving my life. Stay with me as long as you can. And I keep running. And I start to call everybody that I know in Bulgaria. I made 5 calls. Nobody answered. So I then called 112, the police, and I'm telling them, hey, I'm on a moving train from Sofia to Veliko Turnovo, and the man's chasing me. He just spit on me. He's trying to tase me. They say, what do you want us to do? And they hang up because I can't speak Bulgarian.
Wow. This is very similar to what happened, what can happen in countries like that. Poland is a little bit better, but yeah, I've heard of experiences like this. If I've not experienced it myself, they will definitely hang up on you real quick. Okay, I lived in Poland for 6 years. This is not so far-fetched from some of the things that I did experience there. Although I never had to call the police, but I do have friends who have had to do this, and yeah. You find out very quickly that you being an American, a person with you're still black. You find it out very fast.
So now I'm still running, and I'm running into people's cabins. I run to a cabin full of men, hoping that they're not going to let this man get to me. And they push me out of the cabin back into the hallway.
Wow.
So I run into the cabin with the women, hoping I can hide behind them. And they push me back into the hallway. So I call the only number that I have from the embassy, which happens to be somebody's personal number, and not text. I say, emergency, answer. I call and he says, Ariel, what's going on? Are you okay? I say, I'm on the train from Sofia to Veliko Turnovo. A man is chasing me with the taser. He's trying to kill me. He says, I'm going to make some calls and I'm going to call you back. Try to stay safe. Is that all right? I said, yes. Thank you. And I'm still running, trying to get through all of these doors, and I'm bruising my knuckles trying to get through these train doors. And I call my mom and I said, Mom, I'm on the train and this man just spit on me. He called me a nigger bitch, and now he's chasing me. I don't know what's going to happen, but I love you. She tells me, stay calm, pay attention, and don't cry. I said, okay, I'll call you when it's safe. I hang up and I'm running. I'm still running. And out of all the 300 people on the train, nobody is still doing anything. Nobody's batting an eye. The people that look up, they're only looking up in disgust. So I finally get to barricade myself in one of these cabins, and people are still pushing me out, but this time I'm not moving because the 2 men who are now chasing me, because at first it was one, he's been running through this train saying, you gypsy, fucking kill you. So now he inspires another racist to grab a military-grade baton and join in. Now both of them are standing in front of my door. The gay guy is telling me to come out. I'm saying, I'm not coming out until they move. It's not safe. And then he ends up getting them to go into another compartment. I run all the way back. And then he tells me, I run all the way back to the last train. The gay guy comes and tells me, the people on the train called the police on you for macing him. The police are going to be waiting on you at the next stop.
Wow. She's protecting herself. The people called the police on her. See, this is what y'all don't need to understand. Like, you know, at least let's say in African countries, you have some level of somebody telling the truth. You know what I mean? But when you're in Europe, and I heard the DR, it could even be a little worse there. Look, man, you know, people could just lie up and say anything about you did this, you did that, and they don't care. You know, that you're not European or Polish or European citizen. They don't care. You know, they'll throw it on you. It has happened like this.
You got to get off and you got to go with them. And I say, okay. So the police get there. It's about 8 police, everybody on the train who didn't want to help. They're now getting off of the train to come and watch the spectacle. The police are only comforting the men who just chased me. And it wasn't until the embassy called and spoke to the police and insisted that they take my witnesses' information and statements that they did so. In the end, the police let the guys get back onto the train, and they make me go to the police station. I'm going to get into the car, but the police tell me, no, you have to walk to the police station from the train station because they don't want me and my dog in their car. So now I'm starting to think that this nightmare is over, and the embassy is calling me and they're asking me, what do I need? And I'm saying, okay, just make sure I get to the police station because these people here don't care about me. Call me again in 30 to make sure I made it. I get to the police station and I'm thinking it's over, but no, it's not, because the police tell me they don't want me in the police station. Go stand outside in the backyard as it starts to rain.
Basically, stand in the backyard, like the back of the house in the old slavery days, right? This is crazy.
So I'm waiting at the police.
And this is a goddamn Fulbright scholar too, okay? A very intelligent American, but you're still black. Always remember that when you're in these cities, in these countries. My mom told me last year, the Poland is on the border of Ukraine. So Ukraine and Russia, and Russia was threatening to invade Poland. She said, son, don't go back to Poland. Stay in Africa. I'm like, well, you know what? If I go to Poland, I'm an American citizen. Anything happens, I could just go to the embassy. She said, son, you're still black. You gotta always remember you're a black man. And that's so true.
Police station for 3 hours waiting on somebody from Fulbright to come and get me. And when they finally get there, they're showing me that the police didn't actually write down my statement. They wrote down things to fit the guy's narrative who was just chasing me. And they forced them to change it to tell the actual truth. And to be clear, it wasn't until the U.S. Embassy called their chief of police that they finally offered me a cup of water in the hours that I was waiting at the police station to be picked up. So now I'm living in a hotel waiting to return to the United States of America. So yesterday I went into the school that I taught at to tell my kids goodbye, but I told them exactly why I was leaving and I didn't leave out a detail. While some of the teachers started to deny that this was a racially motivated incident, the saddest part of all of this was that my kids started to cry and say, we always feared that something like this would happen to you.
Let me just say this. As a young lady who is a Fulbright scholar, which is an achievement, having to leave Bulgaria to go back to the United States because some crazy person wanted to do that. That used to happen to me. I never really talked about it in Poland, but I've had several incidents. The first week or two, before I was really active on YouTube, some guy drove by. This was like almost in the same week. This is the first week I thought about leaving. I got racially harassed by people driving by saying silly things. And I just want to say that, when you go over to these places and you're living in Europe, maybe if you're in London, Paris, places like that, but when you start going to places like Bulgaria, certain parts of Poland, and you're dealing with people who are not really exposed and people who are not doing well. Like, don't get me wrong, I met a lot of great people in Poland. So nice. But you always have those people who are not. And if you're a young woman and you're by yourself, the lady I call my daughter, she's 22. She called me one day crying because some guy was following her in Warsaw. I happened to be about 4 hours away. So, hey, these things can happen. So, guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shake Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of Fair Use. I'm out.